Hey, what's up guys? I just wanted to preface this video with a little bit of information. One, we didn't know anything about what we was getting into. We did this after work. There wasn't any planning or anything ahead of time. So it's kind of sloppy and it's nowhere near the video that I wanted to make. But it's still a video and it still has valuable info for somebody that's attempting to do this on their own. So just ignore all the sloppiness and the bad camera angles and everything else, because we just kind of did this on the fly. So sit back and enjoy the ride, y'all.
Alright, the first step is jacking up the truck. As you can see on this model this year, there's a cross member right here for the control arms. That's the jack point that we're using. And just jack it up and put it on jack stands. Alright, next, get out your impact wrench or ratchet or breaker bar or whatever you're going to use and just take the wheels off. And if you don't have an impact wrench, you want to do this while the vehicle's still on the ground to break the torque from the lug nuts. Alright, next step is taking off the brake caliper. There's a 21 millimeter bolt right here, and there's one right below it at the bottom. This takes off the whole caliper. Alright, next part, you want to get something to hang your caliper with. You can use maybe like a coat hanger or something laying around. We've got this yellow bungee cord we're going to use. So, it just pulls off. Caliper. Where you at? And find somewhere to clip it on. Like that. And now you can let it hang. And there's no pressure on the brake hose right here. You don't want the caliper to hang from the brake hose. It'll mess something up. Alright. Okay, once you have the caliper off, hanging up, we need to unmount the upper control arm from the steering knuckle right here. It's also a 21 millimeter lock nut right there. You got the lock nut off the ball joint here. Go ahead and grab a jack or something and put it under the lower control arm. That way it supports the whole assembly, because when you break this free, it's going to want to jerk down from the force of the spring. So if you have something like this laying around, I think they call these pickle forks or ball joint separators. You can pick them up at AutoZone for hardly nothing at all, like 10 bucks. And just get a hammer. Ball peen hammer works good for this. I don't know what the hell that was.
I think it was a piece of your hammer.
Yeah, this hammer broke before. Get a different hammer. I don't want that fucking flying off. Okay, got a different hammer. Alright, on top of the strut right here, there's 3 nuts attached to 3 studs. It's a 15 millimeter. The next step is disconnecting the tie rod from the steering knuckle and lower control arm. It's a 21 millimeter right here. After you get the tie rod disconnected, you want to take off the sway bar link right here. 15 millimeter on the shaft right here, and let's see, 16 on the top nut. We've got the tie rod disconnected. We've got the sway bar link disconnected at the top here. I don't know if that's required to do this, but we did it just to get the stuff out of the way. But essentially what we need to do is bring this down and bring the shock off. The top three nuts are disconnected at the top. And now we just have this bolt and nut assembly holding on right here. And it's loose, it's not going down far enough, so we're just going to unhook it at the bottom. Ready?
Maybe.
Good? Alright, this is definitely a two-person job. Yep. Alright. Alright. We got the shock out of the truck. Fucking finally. Okay, so we got the three studs coming out of the top of the shock. They're in a triangle pattern, but it's not a perfect triangle. It's a shorter distance here than it is here. So there's only one way that it can go on. Yeah. Like that. Then you get your old nuts and your Loctite. Put it on there. Yeah, just along the thread somewhere. So basically just put Loctite on your threads and put your new nuts on. It's 18 millimeter. And torque it down. Alright. Then next what you gotta do is get your torque wrench, and the instructions say 35 foot-pounds. So watch and be amazed. Feel solid?
No, kind of tight though, right? Doesn't matter if it's cross-threaded or.
Alright. Alright, we're back. We got the spacers installed. I'll show you right here. Got the new studs poking through the top there. And it looks like it's going to be a lot easier than we thought. So, what we're going to do is put a concentrated force on this. Good?
Yeah, break for a second.
Just sliding over it. There we go.
Dirty hard. Stud still on the top?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're in there. It's just they're not as high up as they were. You should be able to just put it in there.
No, it's. Stand up just there.
Hold on a second. It's getting caught on this right here.
What?
Just a quick note right here, guys. The video footage is missing from this point forward, but we ended up using like a 4-foot crowbar to pry the bottom of the shock onto the lower control arm. I highly recommend using like a crowbar or a pry bar or anything like that to do this. We tried using a screwdriver, we tried using a piece of 1/2 inch round stock steel. We tried just about everything, but the pry bar is the key to getting this to happen. You just slide it up under the bottom of the strut yoke right there where the bolt goes through into the control arm, and you can very easily control which direction the holes line up, and it makes the job a whole lot easier. So I highly recommend just using something like that.
Okay, we're back. Everything's where it needs to be. We got the shock and the strut in place. We got the sway bar mounted. It's not tightened, but it's on there. We got the spacer in there. Now we're just putting the ball joint back in the steering knuckle and connecting everything back up. Alright, so it's the next day. The leveling kit's installed. We pretty much did the exact same thing to the other side. It took about an hour to do the other side. It wasn't that hard the second time around. But we abruptly stopped recording on the passenger side here because we was having problems with some stuff. But this is the finished product. It looks pretty good. Both the front and the back seem to be leveled out pretty nicely. Do you have any comments on it? No? He's satisfied, and I think the parts were what, like $30, $35?
$30 for the leveling kit, and like $5 for shipping or whatever on eBay.
So there you have it, folks. Looks good to me. Leave comments and subscribe and like and all that good stuff. You have a good one.